Hey everyone, today we're going to find the second derivative of d2y dx2 if we have some function called y is equal to x cubed times e to the negative 2x. So we know that we have to use the product rule because we have some function times some function in some way. And so first off, let's find dy dx. And so dy dx, the first derivative of this function, is going to be, again, using the product rule. We'll do the derivative of x cubed times e to the negative 2x, meaning 3x squared times e to the negative 2x plus, now we'll keep x cubed stable, and we'll do the derivative of e to the negative 2x. Again, the derivative of e to the power of anything is the derivative of the exponent, i.e. the derivative of negative 2x, which is negative 2, times e to the negative 2x. Okay, fairly straightforward. And now we can simplify all this. So we get 3x squared e to the negative 2x plus x cubed times negative 2, or rather, that can be better simplified as minus 2x cubed e to the negative 2x. And now, if I were doing this on my own, I would surely factor x squared e to the negative 2x, since it is common to both terms. And so I would have x squared e to the negative 2x times 3 minus 2x. And that's how I would write the final version of my first derivative, just to set myself up as well as I can to find the second derivative as efficiently as possible. And so again, if we want to find the second derivative, i.e. the derivative of the first derivative, right, we're going to use the product rule again, twice. And so this time, d2y dx2 is going to be, however, you don't have to factor it like that. I just think that would be more efficient. And so this time we're going to do the derivative of this times the derivative of this. Now, this is going to be fairly straightforward. So we'll do, again, the derivative of the first part times the second part plus the first part, x squared e to the negative 2x, times the derivative of the stuff inside the bracket. That's why I think this is so efficient. The derivative of this expression in the bracket is just negative 2. And so that's going to be a piece of cake. So all we really have to do is the derivative of this first bit. In the product rule again, derivative of the first part times the second part, so on and so forth. So we're going to have to use the product rule in and of itself just for this first part, very similar to what we did in the beginning. So we'll do the derivative of x squared, which is 2x times e to the negative 2x, and then plus, we'll leave x squared as is, and we'll do the derivative of e to the negative 2x, which is negative 2 e to the negative 2x. And now it's just a matter of simplifying it all down. Let's be careful with our brackets. And so that is going to be 2x e to the negative 2x minus 2x squared e to the negative 2x times 3 minus 2x minus 2x squared e to the negative 2x. And now we're going to have to multiply through this somewhat. So we'll have 3 times, so that's going to be 6x e to the negative 2x minus 6x squared e to the negative 2x, right? Multiplying both of those by the 3. Now 2x e to the negative 2x times negative 2x is going to be minus 4x times x squared e to the negative 2x. And finally, minus 2x squared e to the negative 2x times negative 2x, right? This term times the negative 2x is going to be plus 4x squared times x cubed e to the negative 2x. Okay. And then trailing at the end is minus 2x squared e to the negative 2x. That's likely to simplify down one of our earlier terms. And so let's continue. Let's group like terms. So we have e to the negative 2x in every single term. So we could factor that out. And then we will have 6x minus 6x squared minus 4x squared plus 4x cubed minus 2x squared, like so. And you might recognize some like terms. You have minus 6x squared minus 4x squared minus 2x squared. And so to finish this off, we're going to have e to the negative 2x times, let's organize this as we would any other cubic equation. So let's do 4x cubed first, minus 6x squared minus 4x squared minus 2x squared means minus 12x squared. And then at the end, plus 6x. And we should factor as much as we can. And so each of these three terms inside the brackets has a factor of 2x. And so we should really factor that out. And so our last, maybe I'll bring this up top to have a little more space. So our simplified expression for the second derivative of y with respect to x is going to be, again, we'll factor out 2x from each of the three terms inside the brackets and factor it out at the front of the entire equation. And so we'll have 2x, again, at the very front, factored out, times e to the negative 2x times dividing each of these terms now by the 2x that we factored out. This will become 2x squared minus 6x and plus 3. And here is our simplified expression for the second derivative of y with respect to x, if y is x cubed times e to the negative 2x. So a matter of always applying the product rule properly, simplifying as much as we can in the most convenient way possible, and ultimately simplifying entirely at the end. I hope this helps. If you guys have any other functions you'd like to see the derivative of, or second derivative or third derivative of on video, please leave a comment below, and thanks for watching.